Hello, and welcome back to Channel 907 News with your host, not Liam. Breaking news in Syria today. Syria has seen a lot of conflict throughout the years, but this one is the most recent, the most controversial, and the most costliest, not just in the region, but the whole world. We're going to be covering that today. 2011 and 2012, at the start of the Syrian civil war, many Kurdish military groups, including the Kurdish People's Protection Unit, or the YPG, came into existence. The YPG was one of the only militias in the area that could take on the rising threat of ISIS. Realizing the threat of ISIS, the US joined the YPG in order to take it down. And slowly but surely, they took ISIS territory, most of it going to the Kurds. But the war did not come without a cost. 11,000 Kurds were killed in the ordeal. Now, this is where things get a little bit complicated. Now, I'm nowhere near a professional, so I encourage you to do your own research on the topic. Well, without further ado, let's continue. For a while, Turkey has been dealing with this Kurdish guerrilla group within its borders. And seeing this large Kurdish militia outside of its border, they started to think that maybe the YPG may be supplying this guerrilla group. Seeing a conflict brewing up, the United States decided to intervene. They put patrols along the Turkish and Syrian border. They also encouraged the YPG to change its name to less of a Kurdish name in order to not be confused with the guerrilla group. So they changed their name to the Syrian Democratic Forces. The US also recommended that the Turks demilitarize the border and the Syrians to dismantle fortifications along the border as a sign of peace. But then this is where the US stance in the whole situation kind of changed. You see, Trump has always wanted to pull US soldiers out of Syria, but has always been stopped by politicians and the military. Yeah, so we're gonna stay here this whole time and help you through. Oh, wait, I'm getting a phone call real quick. Yeah. Okay. What did he say? Oh, it's Trump. He told us that we have to leave now. Trump and the president of Turkey, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, had a talk and realized the threat of the impending battle, and the US on October 6th decided to pull out. This gave Turkey a window of opportunity to attack. On October 9th, Turkey launched airstrikes and artillery barrages onto a lot of cities across the Syrian border. They attacked Kobani, Ras Al Ain, Tel Abyad, Suluk, Qamishli, and Ain Ayasa. Before October 21st, 200 civilians were killed and more than 170,000 were displaced. The invasion of Syria also gave ISIS an opportunity to come back. In the chaos of these battles, many guards had to leave, thus allowing many ISIS prisoners to escape. On October 12th, only 3 days after the start of the invasion, 5 ISIS prisoners escaped, and in Qamishli exploded a car bomb in the center of the city. Many countries opposed this invasion, including Bahrain, Egypt, along with the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, the UK, and also surprisingly the US, who has put sanctions on Turkey. While leaving the country, some US soldiers were battered by rocks and potatoes from civilians. I mean, they do have a legitimate reason to be annoyed at the US for abandoning them. Mike Pence and the Turkish president met on October 17th and decided that there should be a ceasefire in exchange for Turkish presence in northern Syria. But what about what happens after the ceasefire? Will Turkey still attack? And what about ISIS? Well, hope you have a good week, and see you later.